just to listen, just to be near. "We shouldn't be doing this," Jorie told him. She began to list the reasons they had to abstain, the many responsibilities facing them on this busy weekday, but even as she spoke, her tone betrayed her. She was already being drawn into the bedroom, diverted by her own desire, and she smiled when her husband locked the door. People in town would not have been surprised to know that Ethan bent to kiss his wife then, and that she in turn responded as deeply as she had on the night when she met him, when she was 23 and convinced she would never fall in love, not really, not the way she was supposed to, head over heels, crazy and rash, all or nothing at all. It was that way for them both even now, though they had a house and a mortgage and a calendar inky with family obligations, those potluck dinners and Little League games, the intricacies of married life. Their union was a miracle of sorts. They had fallen in love and stayed there. 13 years after they'd met, it seemed as though only an hour or two had passed since Jorie had spied Ethan at the bar of the safe house one foggy November night, minutes after she and her best friend, Charlotte Kite, had set up a wager of $10, the prize to be claimed by whoever found herself a sweetheart that night. And now, on this hot June morning, when the sky is so brilliant and blue, and the tree frogs in the gardens trill as though they were calling birds, Jorie wants Ethan just as badly as she had on the night she first saw him. She had left her friend Charlotte behind without even the decency of a proper goodbye, which simply wasn't like her. Jorie was as prudent as she was kind-hearted, so much so that when her older sister Anne arrived at the safe house to see her goody-two-shoe sibling leaving with a stranger, she ran after the truck, signaling for them to slow down. Not that they paid Anne the slightest bit of attention or listened to her cries to be careful on the icy roads. Jorie gave Ethan directions to her apartment over on High Street, where she brought him into her bed before she knew his full name. Certainly she had never in her life been as reckless. She was the girl who did everything right, and as Anne would readily complain to anyone willing to listen, had always been their mother's favorite daughter. Jorie was the last one anyone would expect to act on impulse, and yet she was driven by what might have appeared to be a fever. Perhaps this explained why she veered from her normal, reliable behavior and unlocked her door for a stranger on that cold November night. Ethan Ford was the handsomest man she had ever seen, but that wasn't the reason she'd fallen so hard. It was the way he stared at her, as if no one else in the world existed. It was how sure he was they were meant to be together that had won her over so completely and effortlessly. She still feels his desire when he looks at her, and every time she does, she's the same love-struck girl she was when they met. She's no different than she'd been on the night when he first kissed her, when he vowed he'd always been searching for her. Today, Jorie has once again left her poor friend Charlotte in the lurch, with no explanations or apologies. Instead of meeting Charlotte to discuss the final weeks of her marriage to J. Smith, blessedly over at last, Jorie is kissing her own husband. Instead of offering comfort and advice, she is here with Ethan, pulling him closer until all the world outside, all of Maple Street, all of Massachusetts, might as well have disappeared, every street lamp and apple tree evaporating into the hot and tranquil air. Some people are fortunate, and Jorie has always been among them, with her luminous smile and all that yellow hair that reminds people of sunlight even on the coldest winter's day when the wind outside is howling and masses of snow are tumbling down from above. Whenever Jorie and Ethan are hand in hand, people in town turn and stare. That's how good they look when they're together. That's how meant for each other they are. On evenings when Jorie comes to the baseball field at dusk, bringing thermoses of lemonade and cool water, Ethan always walks right up to her and kisses her, not caring if all the world looks on. Along the sidelines, people stop what they're doing. The mothers gossiping by the bleachers, the dads in the parking lot discussing what tactics might win them the county championship. They can't take their eyes off Jorie and Ethan, who, unlike most couples who have entered into the harsh and difficult realm of marriage, are still wrapped up in the vast reaches of their own devotion even now. It's therefore no surprise to find